Lydia.
Good morning, Miss Lydia.
All right, we're going to try it again. Good morning, boys and girls.
Good morning, Miss Lydia.
You need to be loud.
Good morning, boys and girls.
Good morning, Miss Lydia.
All right, I'm going to introduce myself first of all. My name is Miss Lydia-Video1-ThuMar15, and I'm a master's student at Columbia University Teachers College. I'm going to be teaching a lesson today for your literacy block, and I'm going to start by giving you a brief overview of what we're going to do during our time together this morning. We're going to start with a do noun. A do noun is an activity to get you guys plugged in and to get you guys to start thinking about the lesson. So we're going to start with that first. That's why I gave you guys those small pieces of paper. Afterwards, we're going to do our read aloud, and I will ask questions as we go around. We may get to stand up and participate, and I will give you guys instructions on how we would do that. After the read aloud, we're going to use one of these Venn diagrams to chart the information that we read about so that you guys can have a visual representation and also be able to organize your thoughts as to what you think about the text we're going to be reading today. And finally, we're going to close and end with a debrief where you guys are going to tell me what you learned today, and also you're going to give me feedback on the lesson and what I can do to improve. All right? Do we have any questions or comments before we start? Okay, before I take your questions or comments, I wanted to mention something some people suggested to me from the last time. When I call on you, because of our time, the time frame that we have, try to keep your responses concise, meaning simple, straightforward, and short. Okay? One way to do that is, I noticed some students last time when I was here and I taught you guys, some students had their pencil and a notebook or a paper, and when they wanted to ask a question or respond.
Good morning. These are your announcements for March 15th. Judging for the annual science fair will begin at 10 o'clock.
I want you guys to write your
should have all equipment and students in place to explain the project.
Take this paper and fold it in half like this,
should be
kind of like a hot dog. Okay?
For the running record.
So some of you have line paper, some of you have space paper. That's all right. Just fold it like a hot
There's no
dog.
coverage on the science program.
And I've done mine already. Mine's prepared. I wrote my name on one side, and on the other side, I picked one of the vocabulary words from your book, and that's on page
Please see Ms. Soto today for your rectangular
page 222. Okay, so you're going to write your name on one side and the vocabulary word on page 222. Okay, so go ahead and fold your paper in half, and I'm coming around with some markers. You want to turn to page 222 in your Journeys textbook, and you're going to pick one of the vocabulary words from that page. Okay, I'm giving you guys about 1 minute to do this, so try and work as quickly as possible. Page 222, yes.
If you are not sure, you need to raise your hand, not try to give directions to other people.
And whichever table that I see has completed their do now, this is the do now that I mentioned earlier. You're writing your name on one side, okay? And the best way to make sure the ink doesn't dry doesn't run, once you fold your paper like a hot dog, open it again. On one side, the side facing you, write your name, and then turn it over. And the other side, write the vocabulary word. Okay? You have about 30 seconds, and the table that I see where everyone has completed the do now, I'm going to pick one super volunteer from that table to help me collect the markers from the students, but only a table where everyone has already completed it, and you're sitting quietly. Okay, you have about 20 more seconds. Once you're done, just put the cap back on the marker, and that tells me that your table's ready. actually going to pick 2 students to help with this. One student is going to collect the markers and put them in these cups. Another student is going to collect the name cards. These are called name cards, and I'm going to use them to call in students to participate. That way I get a fair chance of taking on most people. And I'm going to call in you randomly, okay? All right, so we should be done. We have 10 seconds. Okay. I'm looking for a table where everyone's sitting quietly and they're completed the task. All right, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, can I have Sumaira go ahead and collect the markers and put them in these cups? And Drissa, can you come and collect the name cards and just fold them, sort of, and just put them in this cup? Okay? All right, while they're doing that right now, I'm going to finish up where I left up earlier. So we're going to end with a debrief, and I was talking about when I call on you guys to participate or answer questions, try and keep your responses as straightforward as possible. And one of the best ways to do that is in your notebook, write down your question or comment before I call on you, so that when I call on you, first of all, you remember, and second of all, you know what to say, or you're not still thinking while you're talking. Okay, so before I call on you guys, I'll try and give you maybe a few seconds or a couple minutes to think, and then write down what you want to ask or say, and then only when I see that you've written something down will I call on you. Okay, it's just going to save us a lot of time, and it's going to help us feel better. So those of you who had questions or comments for me earlier on, if I see that you've written them down in your notebook, this table, I will call on you guys. So if you had a question or comment for me earlier, write it in your notebook, and then I can call on you when it's time to ask questions. You can just join the table when you're ready, and you just continue where we are right now. Thank you very much, Sumaira. So, one more thing before we start our read aloud for today. Last time when I was here last week, I went over your classroom agreements as well as behavior expectations, and we used a specific attention getter, okay? And we're going to practice this right now just to see if you guys remember, and it's going to help wake you guys up, okay? So, look.
Listen and learn.
Oh, I see some people remembered and some others are still like trying to figure out what we're doing. Okay, let's try again. Look.
Listen and learn.
And one more time. Look.
Listen and learn.
Very good. So whenever I need to get your attention, maybe we're doing a pair-to-pair discussion, I will use that attention getter to bring you guys back up here, okay? All right, at this time I want you to turn to page 238 in your Journeys textbook. Once you're there, show me a thumbs up. Thank you, Drissa. Page 238 in your Journeys textbook. I'm looking for a table that's showing me a thumbs up and they're showing it to me quietly.
This is a 38.
238.
Have a seat.
All right, so when you look on page 238, we see see there's a long rectangle on the side, on the left-hand side of the page. And before I start reading the lesson, I want you to draw your attention to the target vocabulary. Those words that you wrote down on your name cards are similar to the words on the target vocabulary, okay? So when I call your name, I'm going to say, or excuse me, when I call your name, you are going to say what your target vocabulary is. I'll show it to you, okay? One of the reasons why I'm doing this, it's a good way for you guys to learn new words. If you already know these words, that's great. However, it doesn't hurt to practice, and it doesn't hurt to remind yourself. The more you practice, the better you get at doing things, okay? So when I call your name, let's practice, and it's randomly, let's see, Aisha, if I don't say your name correctly, please let me know. Say, good, how do you say your name? Aisha too. Say your word.
Apologize.
Louder.
Apologize.
Very good. Okay, so when I call on you, I'm going to show you a vocabulary and you have to say. That's one way for me to tell if you're paying attention. And then I'll ask you a question and ask you to make a comment. Okay? So we see that we have our target vocabulary words, and we've been learning these words since last week, and we also touched upon them earlier this week. So that's a good way for us to review what these vocabulary words are. This text that we're going to be reading today, it's an informational text. What that means is it provides information about a certain topic. So for example, it gives us some facts, it gives us examples, and so the genre for this text is called informational text. We are going to be using a graphic organizer in the form of a chart I showed you guys earlier. We're going to be working with Venn diagrams, and it's going to help us to organize the information that we learn. So as we're going through the text, I want you guys to try and start thinking, what are some differences between this, the topic we'll be learning today, and what are some similarities? Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is called prediction. Can you guys say prediction?
Prediction.
Prediction is when, before you even read a story, okay, you just want to glance over. It's kind of like when you go to the movies, right? You see a preview, and then you find out whether or not you want to actually watch the movie. So prediction, we're going to do that right now. I'm going to model it for you. What that means is I'm going to say out loud what I'm doing and try and follow along in your textbook. Okay? So on the very first page, on page 238, I see the title, and I see there are some words that are highlighted in yellow. All right? I wonder if those words are our target vocabulary words, which we just wrote down. The next page, page 239, on the top half of the page, I see there's a box with some information in that box, and also there's a picture. And that picture, I see a snake. And this snake has some patterns. It has color patterns on its body. The color patterns are black, white, black, and red. I wonder why this particular snake has these color patterns. On the bottom half of the page, I see another box with some more information. And there's a picture of another snake. This snake looks much bigger. Its head is raised above the ground, and its tongue is sticking out. And it looks like its tongue is divided into two parts. I wonder if this is a dangerous snake. Right? Is it venomous or is it safe? Okay? So notice what I'm doing. I'm predicting. I'm asking these questions. I'm using words like I wonder. Okay? So this should give you guys an idea of what to do when you're reading a story or any text. Just glance through. If there are pictures, look at the pictures. Ask yourself, why is this picture like this? Or why did they put this picture here? Turn to the very next page, page 240. Show me a thumbs up when you get there. Very good. I see some groups already. 240. All right, you can put your hands down. I see another box with some more information as well. And there's another picture, and there's someone's hand. And in their hand, or in their palm, they're holding a snake. Kind of looks like a worm, but it's a snake. And this snake is much smaller. I wonder why it's small, and why is it so thin? Okay? Finally, we have a box, which is like a table with columns. Columns are they go from top to bottom, and rows, they go from side to side. And it looks like it has information about these 3 different snakes we just looked at, and they being grouped or categorized into different headings. Okay, so that concludes the prediction part of the lesson. And once again, I did predictions to get you guys interested and to start you guys thinking about what we're going to be reading. All right, so I'm going to begin to read aloud right now, and I want you guys, the title for our lesson, for the text we're reading today, is called Field Guide to Snakes of the Southwest. I want you guys to repeat after me. I'm going to break it in parts. Field Guide.
Field guide.
Field Guide.
Field guide.
To Snakes.
To snakes
Of the Southwest.
of the Southwest.
Very good. Okay, you don't have to repeat the next thing I say after this. The author it's by Patrick Sutter. Okay? It's always good to look at who the author is because they spent the time to write this information for us, so it's good to acknowledge who they are.